Hello everyone, I'm Monica. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the OOPs in the Python. Okay, OOPs means object oriented programming. First, coming to what is OOP means, object oriented programming is a method of structuring our code by creating objects that contain data and methods. Here, data refers to the attributes and behavior refers to the methods. Okay, now instead of writing code in a long procedural blocks, OOCs helps us to model real world entities like cards, students, bank accounts, like that, and to group the data and behavior together. Okay, to make the data and behavior together as a group, and it provides the maintainability in our software or in our apps. Okay, let me show it once. Here you can see the definition of the OOPS. Okay, object oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects. Okay, these objects can contain data and behavior. Here data refers to the attributes and behavior refers to the behavior of the attributes, means methods. Okay, next, why we need to use OOPS means these are the reasons for using the OOPS in our Python. Next, these are the essential building blocks of our object oriented programming. First one is class. Okay, class is a blueprint or template used to create objects. For example, imagine a car design is a blueprint from which many cars can be made. Okay, it's like a design. From that design, we can build multiple cars. Like that, this is the design like structure to create multiple objects that belongs to this class. Okay, next, coming to object is an instance of a class with its own data and behavior. Okay, by using this class we can create multiple objects. That objects can contain the multiple data and its own behavior. Okay, next, for example, car is our class now. Okay, and a red BMW car created from the car class, and it is an object. Okay, car is our main class. The objects are, it may be a red car, blue car, and black car. Okay, here the black, red, blue are the behavior or data are their features, based different features with same design. Okay, the car is looking like same but the color is different. Okay, this is about the class and object. Next, coming to the next concept, this is inheritance. Inheritance means it allows a one class to reuse features of another class. In other words, we can also say that inheritance means it allows us to access the methods and properties of another class. Okay, next, for example, dog, cat, all are coming to the animal category. Okay, a dog inherits general traits like eating, sleeping from the animal class, as well as the cat can also access this traits from the animal class. This is about the inheritance. Next, coming to polymorphism. Polymorphism. Poly means many and morphism means forms here. Okay. This this is polymorphism means many forms. Means one function name behaves differently based on the object. For example, we have play buttons for videos and audios also. Okay. In a music player, we have video and audio. But we have play button for both players. Okay, this is the live example for our polymorphism. The play button plays music in a music player and videos in a video player. Okay, like this polymorphism is takes multiple forms according to the behavior. Okay, next, coming to the encapsulation. Encapsulation means hiding internal data and only allowing access through methods. Okay, means it binds the data and methods together as a capsule. Okay, in capsule also multiple drugs are encapsulated, means inserted. So like that our data is binded using this encapsulation method to hide internal data. Only the data is accessible whenever we want to access that. We need to call them by using the methods. For example, an ATM hides our account details but let us access balance via buttons. Okay, means by default the ATM did not show our account balance status. When we want to see our account balance, then the time we can choose the option to see the balance. When I click that button, it will show the account balance. Okay, this is about the encapsulation example. Next, coming to the abstraction. Abstraction means showing only essential features, hiding the complex details. Okay, for example, uh, we can drive a car using pedals and steering wheel without knowing how the engine works internally. I think you got it. For our eyes, only the steering and mirrors, seats, all are visible, but the back end engine and all the setup of the car is not visible to us. Okay, this is about the abstraction. Now, I am going to explain you the examples of each these concepts. First, coming to the class and objects. Here I taken one example that demonstrates the class and objects in the oops. Okay, here if you observe this, here my class name is car. Okay, and coming to here def init. Okay, init is a constructor that runs when an object is created. Okay, it is useful for creating objects. It automatically calls when a new object is created. Next, here self refers to the current object instance, means this is our constructor that is arises when new object is created. And these are the methods in our class def start method, and this is the self. Okay, this self is refers to the current object instance. Okay, next, when coming to, we can create multiple objects with different properties. Means here I created one object named car1. Okay, I this is the car class constructor. Okay, within this, I am calling Tesla company name and color is red. Okay, this is my object and this is my class. Okay, next, when I call this method car1.start, it should display car color and then car brand and something message I've written here. Okay, next I created second object named car2 and that car contain the brand BMW and color blue. Like this, you can create multiple objects whatever you want to create by using a single class. So that class is called blueprint of creating multiple objects, and objects are called instances of the class. Okay, next let's go for the output now. This is the command to run the file py space class object is my file name. Okay, you can observe it clearly. Red Tesla car is starting. This is the first object method output. And next, this is the output of car2.start. Okay, like this we can create multiple objects and classes, and this is the process how to create them and all. And next, coming to our next concept, inheritance. Okay, we already discussed inheritance means a child component inheritance from parent. Okay, for example, eye color, hair and all. Next, this is the inheritance example I've written. In the inheritance, we have multiple types. Okay, the first one is single inheritance. Single inheritance means a child class inherits from one parent class only. Okay, that kind of inheritance is called single inheritance. Here, if you observe this, here I created one class animal here. Within this class I have one method called speak. Okay, and here I defined another class dog here. This dog class is inherits the properties and methods of this animal class. So for inheriting the other class we need to place them within the parentheses. Okay, like this. Next, within the dog class I have one method bark here. Okay, here I created object for dog class. Okay, but I can access this speak method which is in animal class also. This is what called inheritance. Okay, if you see this, the dog object is defined here, but we are accessing the speak method which is in the animal as well as the bark method in the dog. Let's go for the output and let me show you that. Py space inheritance dot py. In a dog dot speak method, what we have, animal makes a sound. Okay, this is the message. Animal makes a sound. And by bark method, within this bark method, what we have, dog barks. So it is displaying here. Like this, the single inheritance is working. Next, coming to second type of inheritance. Second one is multiple inheritance. In multiple inheritance, a single child class inherits from more than one parent class. This allows the child class to combine features and behaviors from multiple sources. Okay, for example, here what it says, multiple inheritance means a single child class inherits from more than one parent class. Okay, it can inherit another class also. For example, I am taking wild as another class and I am creating that wild class here. Class wild. Within this wild, I want to create one method called def type. Okay, we need to pass self keyword inside the each method. Next, within this I want to show one message, that is wild animal. Okay, here I created one class named wild and I inherit the properties of wild class also in dog class. Here we can also call that d dot, what is the method in that type. Okay, let me run it once and show you the output. You can observe this here, another output is added when compared to before one. Okay, that is wild animal. Here dog class inherits both animal and wild. Like this is multiple inheritance. Next, we have third type of inheritance, that is multi-level inheritance. Okay, in multi-level inheritance, a class is derived from a class that is also derived from another class. Okay, in other words, child, parent, grandparent. Okay, like that. For example, multi-level means here the wild class inherits the animal, and next this dog class inherits the wild, and so on. We can take whatever the classes we can access. Okay, if now also the output is same, if you observe here. Okay, and for better understanding I am creating object for wild also. I am taking w as object name and this is my class name wild. Okay, now I want to show you the output. Wild inherits the properties of animal. So in the animal we have the method that is speak. So I am calling speak method here. Let's see the output now. Okay, here animal makes a sound. This is the output of wild dot speak method. Okay, the speak method is within the animal, but it inherits that. But when dog inherits wild inherits animal, so dog can access the methods of wild and animal also, because dog access the properties of wild, and while accessing the properties of animal, then dog can also access the properties of animal. Okay, this is called multi-level inheritance. Next, coming to hierarchical inheritance. Okay, in hierarchical inheritance, multiple child classes inherit from the same parent class. Okay, here let animal is our parent class. Okay, here animal is inherited by the wild class, and dog can also inherit the animal. Okay, let me show the output what it happens. Here you got one error, that is d dot type. Okay, d dot type, this is the method of wild class, but our dog is not inheriting the properties of wild, so it did not accessed, so it is showing attribute error. Now let me remove it once, and then if you see this, this is the output, and this is the hierarchical inheritance. Okay, the animal class is inherited by two classes here. One is wild, another one is dog. Dog can access the properties of animal, and wild can also access the properties of animal. This is about the hierarchical inheritance. Next, we have another type of inheritance, that is called hybrid inheritance. Okay, hybrid inheritance is a combination of two or more types of inheritance. For example, multiple or multi-level. Here, this is hierarchical. Next, this is single inheritance. And here, this is well. Okay, this is the multiple inheritance. Let me run it once. What happens? You can got one attribute error, because what is the error? Can't create a consistent method resolution order for basis animal and wild, because the animal already, the wild is already inheriting the animal class. Again, you are using wild here. If you want to there, remove animal here. It will works. But it is already inheriting the animal. Wild is. Why you need to use both animal and wild together? So you can remove one and then. Okay, next I will create one class now here. Demo. Demo is my class name. The class name should be start with the capital letter only. Sorry. Let me create one class for better understanding. Class demo. Within this, example is my method. Okay, within this, I want to print one message. Hi. Okay, this is my another class demo. Okay, this is the single inheritance, and this is the multi hierarchical inheritance. Next, coming to this class demo, here the dog is inheriting demo also, and it can be accessible by example method can be accessible by dog object also. So d dot example. Let me run it once. Later I will explain. You can observe that takes 0 positional arguments. One was given because here we forgot to give self keyword. If you didn't give self keyword, it will show this kind of error. Okay, so we need to must include the self keyword for each and every method within a class. Okay. Next, you can see the output here. This is the hi method output, which is in our demo class and which is called by the dog object. Okay, this is nice. Here in this code, we have single inheritance as well as the multiple inheritance. This is the combination of two types of inheritance. So it is called as hybrid inheritance. Okay, next we'll go for the another topic, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism means we already discussed polymorphism is taking many forms. In polymorphism, we have one feature, that is method overriding and method overloading. Okay, first coming to the method overriding, here I have one example for that. Method overriding, here this is our class of animal. Okay, in this class I have two methods, one is sound and the one is greet. Okay, next here I have one cat class which is inherits the properties of animal class. Okay, here I have another method class, sorry, another method sound, and here I have another class dog. It also inheriting the same animal. Okay, and it contain the sound is the method inside it. For example, it is like a hierarchical. If you observe this, means hierarchical means one parent class is inherited by multiple child classes. Okay, this is also example for inheriting hierarchical inheritance also. Now our concept is about the method overriding, so we are consider it like as that. Okay, next here I created objects for dog and cat. Okay, our dog and cat both classes contain sound method, and our parent class animal also contain the sound class. Okay, and this dog and cat both are inheriting the animal class, so they can also call the methods of animal class also. Okay, that's why I am calling c dot sound. Okay, uh, when I calling this, the cat class also containing sound and animal class also containing the sound method, but the output should be the output of this method in class only, because it overrides the method of parent class. Okay, if you see this c dot greet, I called both the methods of animal. One is c dot sound and the one is c dot greet. Okay, c dot greet is displaying as it is, but c dot sound contains some generic animal sound, but it is showing output as meow, because it is overriding the methods of the parent class. Okay, let me show you the output. Pi space method overriding dot py. This is my file name. You can observe that here meow, here hello. Okay, as I previously said that instead of this some generic animal sound, the class object displaying the message that is meow. Even it inherits the properties and methods of the animal also. It is showing the output of inside its method, not the output of animal. This is called method overriding. Okay, next, all classes all classes have sound method. The version that is called depends on actual object type, that depends on cat or dog, not on the animal, since it, even though it inherits the animal class, it is showing the output of itself only, not the parent class output. Okay, next we'll go for the encapsulation. Okay, encapsulation means binding the data, hiding internal data, and restricting the access to some parts of the object. Here I have one example for encapsulation also. For encapsulation, I have this class, that is bank account. Okay, when I run this, it should display the 1500 as output. Why this is called? Here in the init method, I have one argument that is balance. Okay, self dot balance equals to balance. I define like this. Deposit means it should add the current balance. Okay, so self dot balance plus amount. Here amount is the whatever amount you want to deposit to the your bank account. Next here when coming to here def get balance, it should return the self dot balance means available balance. Here I created object for bank account class as ACC and I am passing initially I have the balance 1000 in my account, and when call this method deposit account dot deposit, I am depositing 500. So here the self dot balance contain the 1000 and next the 500 is adding to 1000. So total 1000 plus 500 equals to 1500. So it should print the output as like this, account dot get balance. Okay, account dot get balance should return the self dot balance. Okay, means account balance. Let me go for the output. Encapsulation pi space encapsulation dot pi. Here you can observe this. Here output is 15 as I said previously. If you try to access account dot balance, it should not. Here I am accessing the balance by account dot get balance method, but you try to access like this, it should raise one error. Okay, it is not method, so we need to balance is our, since balance is our property in the methods, also it should not display the amount, it should raise an attribute error as I said previously. Okay, bank account object no has no attribute balance, it is showing like that because it is hiding. Okay, so that it is not showing like that. And next we'll go for the abstraction. We already discussed abstraction means showing only wanted data and hiding the unwanted data. This is all about the concepts of OOPS in the Python and how they are working. We are seeing with examples also. Thank you.